It's close to the holidays and it's time to make some cookies. Usually my daughter does it, but I'm doing it this time. You have a raspberry thumbprint cookie, a ginger doodle, and the last one I'm going to make is cake batter chocolate chip cookie. Yummy. Let's go. Well, I need my mixer. I got it set up, and this is the first batter we're going to make. That's a half a cup of sugar. And we're going to throw a half a cup of brown sugar in it. And to that, 1.5 sticks of butter. And now we're going to cream them, which didn't come out very creamy once I was done mixing it. I'm going to crack an egg. And then we mix again. And that's a teaspoon-ish of vanilla. We mix again. Okay, so we need a bowl, 1.25 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And here's our secret ingredient, cake batter. Now, as you see, I dumped the whole thing in, didn't realize it until I got mixing. I was only supposed to put 1.25 cups of a cake mix, which is just under half the box. So once I got mixing, I realized my mistake, and we had to come up with an adjustment, which I think kind of worked. So we dumped the flour into our mixture and let her go. So here's my solution. I went and looked at the box, and there was some water I was going to use, but it also had 3 eggs in it. So I put the other 2 eggs in and threw in the rest of the vanilla, which is probably about not even a teaspoon. Mixed her up, and it seemed to look more like batter by the time I was done. Now we get to the fun part, chocolate chips. White and chocolate, 50-50 mix, but I put 1/3 vanilla and 2/3 the chocolate chips. So in they go. The recipe also called for sprinkles, red and green. This is what my daughter gave me, and as I'm dumping them in, I'm thinking, this is not the right kind. Which it wasn't. I still got a red and a green kind of glow to the cookies, but it wasn't quite what we were supposed to put in. You know, apparently these you sprinkle on the cookies after. Once again, a baking rookie. I wanted the bigger ones, but hey, now I know for the next time. So we're going to get this batter into a bowl. We're going to cover this up, throw it in the fridge at least 2 or 3 hours, but you can keep it in overnight if that's the way you want to work it. It's out of the fridge. And we need some baking sheets lined with parchment paper. And now we just roll them into little cookie balls. And there you go, just like that. Into the oven they go, 350, 10 to 12 minutes. Out of the oven, here they are. Not bad for a first timer. Let's get them onto a cooling rack. Now here's our next cookie, which is a Snickerdoodle, or this is a ginger doodle, or you could call them, I guess, a Snicker snap, but that sounds kind of goofy. Anyway, one bowl we've got sugar. The next bowl is 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Well, 1 tablespoon-ish. You don't want to go crazy on the cinnamon. We'll put a little extra in just because. And we're going to mix that around, combine all the sugar and cinnamon, and let's get them to the side. Go into a bowl. I got my mixer out for this one. And basically the same idea as our first cookies. The measurements are a little different. That's 3/4 cup of butter or shortening. And 3/4 cup of sugar. And of course, as with the first, we're going to mix it and cream it. And all I know is mixing all that made a huge mess. It was spraying all over the place. So once I got her combined, at least to the point where I could work with it, like that. Now we're going to add our vanilla. So there's a tablespoon-ish, my daughter always said you can put more in, of the vanilla. And I dropped an egg in. So we'll mix this till it looks like that. That is 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and you don't see it, but a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1.5 cups of flour. And we mix. And when we're done, we set aside because we've got the other half to deal with. Next up is our ginger snap part. Get another bowl out, 3/4 cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar. Give it a quick mix, and this is 1 egg and a 1/4 cup of molasses. And we mix. Next step, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, or more if you want, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 2 cups of flour. And there it is once it's mixed. It's a little crumbly, but I think everything's fine. So let's put it all together and make our cookies. So I've got the ginger snaps on the top and the Snickerdoodles on the bottom. Oh, you grab a handful of the dough and roll it into a ball. And I know they're going to spread out no matter what I do, so I'm kind of guessing at how big I want the cookies. Well, the ginger snap goes in the cinnamon sugar, and the Snickerdoodle goes in the sugar. Roll it around, coat it up, and then you smush them together. Now you're supposed to roll or squeeze these together. I'm not really sure. We're going to guess. And boy, am I ever glad by the time I'm done that I put that parchment paper out. So here we are, our cookies. I believe there's 30 there. Into the oven they go. 350, 9 to 11 minutes. Actually closer to 15 because you want them brown on the bottom. Let's get them into a cooling rack. Now our last cookie, I pulled out my mixer. This is the quickest one. Raspberry Thumbprint cookies. I couldn't wait to try this one. And we're going to do it quick. Butter, sugar, mix. Egg yolk. And I put a little vanilla in. It could have been almond extract. Flour. Mix. And we just take our dough. And we're going to roll them out once I can figure out how big I want to make them. And they roll out fairly easy. Like that. And there we are, I'm done. Well, I'm done the rolling out part. Now we've got to smush them down. So I've got a tablespoon there to smush them down. I need a little help do it. just like that. So now I got this brilliant idea. Instead of using my thumb, which is why they're called Thumbprint cookies, I use this little melon baller. Well, as you can see, the one cookie I put a little hole in. So next time I'll use my thumbs. On the raspberry jam, and it's not really a lot, but enough to fill a little hole. Go figure. I thought you might have done it afterwards, but no, you bake them with the jam in. So into the oven they go at 350 for, I think I kept them a little longer than what it was going to take. But anyway, here we are. There's my daughter's triple rack with cookies. We got the Snickerdoodles, the cake chocolate chips, and the jam cookies at the bottom. There's my Santa plate. And the cookies are on. We just need a Santa hat to go with it.